What's up, expats and travelers alike? I'm Josh with Expats Everywhere.
And I'm Kalie.
And we're here in Porto, Portugal. It is 9:30 p.m., so that's why it's a little dark. And we've got some bright lights on us. But let's talk money. You ready? You ready to do this?
I don't know if I like breaking this down because Josh is all about, oh, we're spending too much here, we're spending too much here. And I just kind of want to go with the flow. So let's see.
Yeah, so the format of this live chat is we do have some kind of prepared content for you all. We're going to talk about the back of the video that we just published on Thursday, where we talked about our daily expenses, and we went through the whole month of February and showed you guys what exactly we spent every day. And then we totaled that stuff up at the end. We're going to show you guys the totals in just a second so you all can see kind of where we finished the month. But I think it's important to keep it in context that we're showing you, or attempting to show you, kind of the lifestyle that we live, because just seeing numbers on a blog isn't necessarily helpful when you don't know how someone is living. What's their kind of lifestyle? What kind of health insurance do they have? What's their apartment look like? Because all of these things do kind of change it up and makes a big difference.
Yeah. And so I would say two things. This one that we just did was 2022 and a month in 2022. And then we're going to compare it to what it was in 2021 at the beginning of last year. So you guys can see the comparison, and we're going to talk about the differences and why stuff maybe was higher or lower. And then the other thing that I think needs to be kept in mind too is we're not trying to tell you how to do things on a budget or like how to cut costs here or anything like that. What we did is we just, for the whole month, like lived normally and then logged exactly what we did. So for people who are like, oh, you could do it cheaper, I'm sure we could, or we could probably do it more expensive, but we're just showing you real life, what we spent money on, and then how much it ended up being without even thinking like, oh, I'm logging it. We just spent normal life stuff for the month.
Yeah, this is not a competition. People can come over here and they can make it on under 1,000 euros. There are other
Would
people,
I want to do that? No.
There are other people that ball out of their minds.
Yep.
So
the whole spectrum. So
yeah, Conor McGregor has a house here.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I
mean, among other like super famous sports stars and celebrities and whatnot. Okay. So at the end, we're going to take some comments, take some questions from you guys about money, about finances.
And I did get my hair cut. Ready for a change.
We'll try to be as open and transparent with you. Well, we'll be as transparent as we can without being overly personal. I don't know. We'll answer basically anything money related. Okay.
That we can, yeah.
So we've got 50 people in here. Let's get going. Here is an overview of our expenses that we shared with you guys in that last video. If you haven't seen that video, we have a link in the description section below. You put it in there?
I did not. After this, we
drive
have a link.
Crazy with that. Yes. After we finish this, we'll put a link down there and the 2021 so you guys can see the differences. We're going to talk about those differences. But first off, we have the housing expense at $700.
Utilities were $105.09.
And health insurance was $204.27.
And then our gym was $99.
The grocery bill, it's hard to see that little emoji, but that's like a shopping cart, was $390.51.
Entertainment $64.
Clothing $104.98.
Food out $409.85.
Yeah, it's that burger. You know, we don't necessarily always eat burgers out. Rarely do.
Food out. I knew what you meant when you did that.
Yeah, thanks. Transportation $47.88.
Drinks out, definitely know that one. $67.20.
For Pincho, we have a dog. He's a 1.5 kg Yorkie, so he's not very big. If you have a bigger dog food's going to be more. Grooming bill's going to be more. But he did have an accident this month, or this past month, so $113.10.
Tithe, which is the different charities, churches, organizations that we give to, was $314.50.
CNI got a haircut, €15.
And then miscellaneous was $111.54, which we can talk about that stuff, what miscellaneous is. But
yeah. All right. So let's compare 2021's rent with 2022.
Okay. Do you want to compare this? We're obviously spending less.
Yeah. So €900 versus 700. Now, the market has changed, and it's not actually changed in the favor of 700. It's just that we went out and we shopped for a house that was going to be cheaper, and we went with an approach that would have gotten us a cheaper house. Do you want to explain that more, or do you want me to?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Got it. So you can see how rehearsed this is. It's
real
not.
life, guys.
It's not. So when we moved to Portugal, like many of you, we were moving into an apartment sight unseen. Now, I know that some of you are able to do scouting trips, which is awesome, and we recommend it. However, at the time when we moved, heavy COVID restrictions, you could only come here if you had legal right to live here. So that meant you needed a visa. To get the visa, you needed a housing contract. So we signed up with a company or got a company that does property management. That company is called Living. There's other companies here in Porto that also do the same thing. But the housing then was 900. Today, the same apartment is 1,080, I believe. I've seen it listed.
1,050. Oh, you saw it. 1,050.
Yeah, maybe it's 1,050. You're right. I think you're right. Something like that.
Either way,
but
it's gone up.
Either way, it's gone up. Now, what we did to get 700 is we basically made a short list of places that we were interested in off of Idealista, which is a site that kind of houses all sorts of listings similar to a Zillow or a Realtor.com. And we started contacting private owners and real estate agents. Private owners, you tend to have a little more flexibility with pricing. We landed on 700.
The place is smaller than the first one, and the first one was 2-bedroom, a T2, and this is a 1+1. So that's something to consider as well. The other one had a balcony, was a higher floor. Both are in good locations. So, I mean, you kind of give and take. This one has a washing machine, which I'm very happy about. Woo! So
we'll see how that affects utilities.
Yeah. Totally worth it. But so yeah, housing is going up. Yep. So this doesn't reflect it super well that actually the year later we had cheaper rent.
Yep.
But it just worked out for us.
Yeah, I would say the lesson learned here is get yourself here, get yourself in a year contract, which most people need if they're coming on a D7. And then that next year, shop around, try to get a lower price. Yeah.
Once you find out places you like, locations, what you do and don't like about the apartment you're in, just keep in mind that the first one is not your forever home. So you'll come here, you'll make it work, and then you'll figure out what's better for you after that.
Or also consider buying, get a mortgage. It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, because interest rates are super low. So.
Yep. Okay, so the next line item was utilities. And the reason that there's the 67 plus 40 versus a whole number is because in 2022, when we just did the budget, we just decided to include our phone bill in that. Just made more sense. Whereas on the 2021 one, if you go back and watch that video, we had these two separated. And back then we were charging at 10 euros at a time because we thought we had to.
That's what we were told in the store.
Exactly.
And after we kind of got used to it, we learned that we weren't using that much, so we didn't have to put that much. And the minimum is actually 750. It tells you that in the app. But we do 850, which pretty much covers us for normally. Yeah. And the hotspot is what helps us out as well. So when we're out and about, we have the on-the-go hotspot. And so we can turn that on. So we're not actually using data, and that's unlimited. So.
Also, in saying that, we did not include the 30 euros per month hotspot because the hotspot's actually a business expense.
Yeah. And it's only every 30 days. So it might not have even hit in this month that we logged in.
Probably not. Yeah. You're right. Okay. So looking at what our utilities are, our electric bill was like 55 euros for this past month. And our water bill was 15,
something like that.
It's pretty similar to last year, and we have a washer and a washer.
Is it similar to last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised.
You can see the number right there.
Well, but no, that's this past. Oh, versus. Oh, sorry, versus. Josh made these, obviously. Okay. No, Josh made these. So I haven't looked at them. So actually, these are going to be surprises for me because it's been a while since I've seen the budget from last year.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just kind of spent.
Should we move on? So that's utilities. I will say our place is small. You guys can check out the video where we actually show our place, but square meter wise, I'm not even sure. It's probably not any more than 45 meters.
I'm actually surprised to see, since we have a washer and I use it a lot, that it's practically the same water wise as what it would be to go do your laundry at a laundromat. Because I feel like the laundromat just seems so expensive once you got going. So I really thought that maybe that'd be a little lower this year.
All right. So next line item, this is where there was a massive change and we needed to explain it.
Yes. So health insurance, when you get your D7, you have to get a private health insurance, and there's a couple things that you need in that. So obviously we were on something really high for the three of us. That type
Does
of
it have to be health
international
insurance?
does what? It has to be, oh, it can be travel insurance.
That's
It
right.
can be travel insurance as well. So it doesn't have to be health insurance necessarily, but it tends to be higher. These things are just, they're more expensive to do it international insurance. So we were on a high one for our visa. But then when we got here, we were able to switch with Millennium. And we also have a video about that as well. We can put in the description afterwards. It's not there yet. Sorry, that's supposed to be my job. But,
Yeah.
I was at the aquarium yesterday to see you. But anyway, that's my excuse. So when we got here, we got on private through Millennium, and it's much cheaper. Now, that being said, even this year, when you see 204 for the three of us, we chose to be on the highest of this. There were three options, and we chose to be on the highest
Because we said, well, we're already saving
saving a lot of money, and it was just worth it. But you can get health insurance if you choose to do private. You can get it cheaper.
So the main difference between these two programs is the health insurance that we had in 2021 covered us for a lot of traveling around the world. It would have covered us in multiple countries, which we didn't get to use, thanks COVID. And the one that we have now, only for like serious medical emergencies, will we get full coverage abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Moving on. Gym
membership.
We finally joined a gym.
Thanks, COVID. 2021, basically the gyms they weren't completely shut down, but it just didn't make sense.
Off and on, though. Sometimes they were shut, sometimes they weren't.
Yeah. So no gym expense. We did get a deal through Home's Place for 99 euros. It seemed like they were desperate for signups. I don't know, because they're quite an expensive gym. So 99 euros for a family of 3 to 4. Was it?
Oh, I don't know.
Like 2 adults and 1 to 2 kids?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
For the three of us, we knew it was 99.
And why did we want to do it?
We were looking for swimming lessons for Sia, and they had swimming lessons, and it was pretty much, since we weren't members, it would be about 40 euro for her to do swimming lessons a month. And so we talked about it, and it was like, well, it's worth 99 for all three of us so that we can do the gym. There's a kids corner. There's a sauna area. So it was worth it for us. And Josh had been talking about wanting to join a gym anyway. So it worked. The timing was good.
And for those of you guys that just joined, this is kind of the list we're going through, comparing the 2021 versus the 2022 expenses. So where did we spend more? Why? That type of thing. We're breaking that down for you all.
And then we'll get to your questions.
I see 71 people in here. Thank you all so much. If you're enjoying yourself, hit the thumbs up button. I don't know why.
All right. So groceries.
Yeah. So groceries, again, back in February, it was or back in March of 2021, we were in a bit of a stricter lockdown. So there wasn't the ability to go out and eat. So therefore we were staying in, cooking more. And yeah, that was the main thing. We were staying in and cooking more. The groceries seem a bit high, period. It seems like we're spending a lot on groceries.
I would say one thing, I think that maybe there are times when I like to do the groceries delivered, and it is higher. I just always find myself spending more. Like for Pingo Dos, it's if they're not doing any deals, then you have to do 100 to get free delivery. And so for me, I always just hit that threshold. Like if I'm going to be below that, I just go ahead and get like canned stuff and just kind of stock up on things, wine.
But we're eating it all.
Yeah, we are. No, we go through it and stuff. But I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's high. Yeah, for a month for 3 people.
Yeah, no, I think it's high.
A lot.
So I'm going to actually.
She eats like berries and stuff, which are more expensive.
She does eat berries, and they are expensive. I'm going to jump us then to the next category to kind of compare the two. So from groceries, you guys would know the natural jump would be, what's your eating out budget?
That's a big difference.
Massive. Now, I think there's a big reason for this, but okay.
We're going out more.
Again, back in 2021, couldn't go out as much. Most of this was takeaway or Uber Eats. So 153 versus 410 basically.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Okay. So here's why I think it's even more of a difference, right? I mean, 250, it's crazy. Whoa. And Portugal's not very expensive. It doesn't have to be very expensive to eat out, but I think the big difference is that it's a social thing for us. Like eating out is a very, very social thing to do with friends. And that's just what we do enjoy doing. And we were also coming off of the back of traveling, where we traveled for the better part of January and December and January. So we hadn't seen people for 2 months,
Mhm.
month and a half, 2 months. And we wanted to catch up with people.
Yeah. It's a big
You
thing
wanna
that we like to do. No, that's
say
right.
anything about
I
that?
give that's a big difference. But a lot of it is because of the like COVID and lockdowns and everything. Yumiko,
Yumiko!
thank you for the super sticker.
Super sticker.
Woohoo!
That's crazy.
Good to see you on here. Woo!
Thank you so much for the support.
Mhm.
Miss you. Okay, so let me
We'll jump back
jump us
into
back to the entertainment.
entertainment.
What do you think
So
about this?
fairly similar.
Mhm.
What were we doing? What was entertainment? Subscriptions like
Yeah, and
watching
in
sports and
2021
stuff?
you had Memrise, and Memrise went into entertainment, although it's
Oh.
more educational. Memrise is an app to help you learn languages. In Kalie's case, Portuguese.
Mhm.
For 64, Sia and Kalie had started going to the zoo.
Oh
and
yeah, we
Kalie
were
got the
doing more.
annual
That's
pass.
true. The annual passes. So we were able to do those things. So I was getting like the zoo is the annual pass. I've got in a different month, the next month in March actually. At the beginning of this month, I got the aquarium pass. Totally worth the money if you're going to go multiple times. But that's right. You could just do more, right? So entertainment wise, there's just more that's available and open now.
Yep.
So but it's not that much of a difference.
No, and we added a clothing budget, so there's a budget that we have.
We didn't spend. I guess we
clothing.
weren't going shopping.
Yeah, we weren't going shopping.
Yeah,
it wasn't really pleasurable to be at malls back then.
Well, a lot of stuff was closed anyway, like malls. It was kind of just essential things.
Yeah.
And then I'm not much of an online shopper. I like to try things on, and you couldn't do that, so I wasn't shopping. But yeah, now shopping more.
And also, I think some of that money is Valencia's stuff.
Yeah, definitely. With her changing and growing, kids, right?
We've already done that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, transportation. I know the difference here. So it looks like we spent less on transportation, and I think the big thing is that I didn't have to charge my card at all, my Metro Pass at all during February.
And I charged mine twice.
Which is fairly normal.
Yeah, that was probably normal. Well, like we said in the video that we did, I'm just on the move a bit more. Like Josh will be home working, and I'm getting Sia out, especially now that she's a bit older. She has to get out. So we're doing things like, maybe the aquarium, and that's out in Miscellaneous actually. So if I'm going to go ahead and take the Metro, or and that's Z3 from where we are. So just on the move more, meeting friends at parks and just going out with her. So I do that. I do a lot more.
Yep. And full transparency, guys, we're still trying to sort this out, but we noticed from when we did the Metro video, when was that? Like at the end of 2021?
Yeah, well, maybe it was like October,
So
November.
November.
We
put together a video to explain Porto's Metro, and the price of the Metro has gone up.
Yeah.
Like
we didn't even notice.
I think by 50 cents on 10 rides. So by 5 cents on one ride.
Yeah, and who knows if that's just when you load 10. I don't know if a single ride has gone up, but if you load 10, because it used to be when we did that, when you loaded 10, you got 10 plus 1, you got 1 for free, and it was €12, but now it's $12.50.
Yeah, so we caught that.
It might not be that one is free. It might just be that one is discounted. But we actually didn't catch it until we were going back through the budget. And then Josh was like, this isn't right. You put $12.50. And I went back through and I looked on Millennium because I just used my card and it was $12.50. So it's gone up a little bit. Inflation.
So we'll discuss
Not sure
that.
if it's per ride or if it's just for the loading 10.
Yep. 2021, there were no drinks out whatsoever. There was no going to bars.
We were buying the Super Baca a lot. Things from the grocery store across the street.
That counted towards the left side of the grocery. Yeah.
So that's where it offsets a bit, right?
Yeah. So this month, every now and then we would go out just for drinks with friends as a social thing instead of eating. And usually when you go out and you get cocktails here, it can be more expensive. There's a whiskey bar here that's at least $5 a drink. The beer places are pretty cheap. Craft beer is not cheap. Craft beer is like craft beer in a lot of places.
So I would say that like when you look at our food out, if we were eating and drinking, then we just put that in the food aspect. So this is going to be just drinks. So if we were at like a craft beer place or the whiskey place or just got some wine or something somewhere. So that would be a difference too. That probably why the food out was a little higher because there were more drinks as well on that.
Yeah. Big Bad Bank, which we showed in the video that we did a few days ago. That particular cocktail bar, it's $8 to $12 for their kind of normal cocktails. It's not cheap.
No,
it's not cheap.
Nice though. So then if you want to go the cheaper route, then the Super Bock or the normal wine, house wine, is the way to go.
You can easily go into a restaurant. For example, we were at a restaurant with a friend this month, and we got a bottle of wine for €8 in the restaurant, and it was drinkable.
Or I mean, there's places where you can do a glass of wine for €1, €1, €2,
just up the street, €1, and they fill that sucker to the brim. They are not playing around with their pours.
Remember, it's Portugal, so it's good wine. It's not like wine that you want to like.
It's not out of the box.
Yeah. Well, it might be,
Pingo
but
box.
but they're still better than the box wine that we know.
Okay, so I was surprised to go back and see Pincho's expenses in March of last year were $71.05.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's a tiny dog.
He's sitting on my lap right now. Just looking down.
Grooming's actually changed. Inflation.
Yeah, it went up. It was 35 and now it's 36. And they did tell me that before he got groomed. And they said sorry.
It went up by a whole euro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see Pincho, so I'm going to disrupt.
It's not that bad.
Pincho expenses. We'll put him right by this way.
Yeah.
Look at the camera, Pincho.
No, he's not going to do it. So he had a vet visit, a rather expensive vet visit. He had gotten bitten in the park near us, and we just didn't catch it. He was in this little tussle, got a bite, it got infected. We didn't notice it until he got groomed, and his hair was trimmed up enough to where we could see it.
And it seemed to get irritated from the grooming too.
Yeah.
But for those of you with dogs or pets in general, I feel, and friends that have pets, we all feel that vet expenses are cheaper here. Someone was asking about that. Than the US. And that's without pet insurance. Pet insurance is becoming more of a thing here if you want to have that, but we don't have it. And I think it's, €75. And that was for follow-up visits that we had to do. And they didn't charge us for their follow-up visits. He was going in every 3 days so that they could check the leg, and they weren't charging us for that. So this was the initial charge for the, for the check and then all the medication and stuff. So not bad.
And then grooming, I don't know why it was 29. I know my haircuts back then were 6.
But
and this haircut
wasn't getting haircuts.
Correct. So it had to be something from you.
Maybe I got my I got my haircut. Yeah.
So my haircut was 6 back then, just at a different place. The current place I go to, it's 10. They didn't charge Valencia for her haircut because she got her haircut when I did. So we just tipped 5.
And I get my haircut at the same place. Ladies, for who are wondering, I obviously did something a bit more drastic, and mine was 20.
Yeah. So
in March though, that's why it's not logged here. But just if you're wondering about haircut prices.
Okay. And then moving on to the miscellaneous expenses. Now, the reason why I put SIA in parentheses is because most of this was actually, we didn't have miscellaneous expenses in 2021. We didn't have that as a category, but we had SIA as an expense. So clothing and such that we had to buy specifically for her, diapers and all of that.
Which most of this actually is, because it was swim diapers this time. We bought her new car seat. We bought her a new tub.
Yeah.
So that's the miscellaneous stuff. So practically SIA, except for some of the clothing.
So that's a 2-year-old. That's having a 2-year-old here in Portugal. We can talk about schooling in a sec, or if anybody's asked about that, we'll talk about that in a second. We're almost working our way through this whole thing. So tithe, what we talked about with tithe in last year's video was that we tithe 10%. So we didn't give away our income. We're not really giving away our income here. We pay ourselves $3,000 with Expats Everywhere as living expenses to run the channel. So $1,500 and $1,500. The rest of the money that we earn from the channel goes right back into buying new gear and other things to keep the channel
going,
not going,
trying to get
but
better.
Getting it better. Trying to get it better. So I hope you guys don't mind me sharing that. And
so that's just giving to churches, organizations, charities, things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. We think it's good to be philanthropic, especially when we're blessed with so much. So yeah, that's where that is.
And that's local and international. So that's not just in Portugal. There is some, and then some international as well, different places in the world.
And we do earn a little bit of money outside of, Kalie has a part-time job now, which we've talked about. We won't dwell on that. So what happened to travel budget, right? So in in the first one, we budgeted travel as a percentage. 2022, our travel is all being expensed through Expats Everywhere. So it's different now for
It's
us.
not personal.
We're not saving money then to go travel on for personal reasons.
And we didn't actually travel in February at all, I don't think.
No, we did not.
Because we had December, January.
It was actually business related down in Algarve.
That was at the end of January.
That was in
anyway,
January.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. Taxes. Several people have asked about taxes. So what do we put aside for taxes? What do we save? The real answer is nothing.
We'll see what happens.
So what we did last year was we put aside 15%, when in actuality, we thought we'd be closer to 20%. But last year's taxes were kind of weird because of the tax credits with what was going on with COVID relief money.
And Sia.
And Valencia having a kid. So like that 15% that I had thought of, it didn't even work out that way. We ended up paying less.
We ended up making a lot of money. We didn't pay. We made money. Yeah. Which normally we pay.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that was Sia again, because she was born in 2020. So it just worked out for us when we had to do it the next year.
Yep, exactly. So then for this year, what are we doing? So we've been putting away 15% of what our income is, and we think it's going to end up being 20%. We have not gone through a tax year yet, so we're going to create content based on that. So many people email and ask, do we recommend this person, that person for taxes? We can't yet recommend anybody because we haven't gone through a tax season. We can give you contacts, but can we recommend them and say like, this person's good? No, because we haven't properly vetted them.
Because we're still doing it ourselves.
I can give you contacts. I don't mind doing that, but I can't say whether or not they're good. Again, if you want to do your taxes in Portugal, I would say try to find somebody that can do what you want them to do, and go with that person, because you'll talk to people that'll say you can't do that, and you'll talk to another tax person that says, oh yeah, you can do that. Go with that person. Okay. Retirement. We put all our eggs in a basket in 2021 to really push the channel forward. So we said, like, let's not intentionally save for retirement. The reality is, guys, we have rental properties in the US, and I actively work on that as like an active real estate investor in the US. So that money is just retirement stuff. So we don't necessarily we don't feel the need to pull some of our income out to save for retirement.
Well, we already have retirement from past jobs. That's just at least sitting in there and accruing whatever it is. We're just not paying into it right now. So we do have that going on. So we're just not taking what we have now and paying into it.
The last thing I want to say before we jump into the comments, thank you guys so much for being here. We have 9,900 people that are popping in and out. I want to drop this because I think this is important. The exchange rate. We know that many people are looking to move from America to Europe, and you want to kind of get an idea of what these prices are. So today, current rate is around 1.1 USD to euro. So that's $1.10 that you need to buy a euro. Let's just look at it that way. For 2021, it was 1.18, so 118. And then for last month, it was 113. So we ended up 5 cents, or in a way, closer, right?
From last year.
It's better
for us right now.
For us right now.
5 cents when we did it in February, and 8 cents now.
8 cents now. Yeah.
But ebbs and flows.
The explanation of that. But you guys,
ebbs and flows. You can see there. Yeah.
You know what I mean. So I know they know what I mean. Okay. So let's jump to the comments. Thank you guys so much for being patient. Katie
Ray,
with the super chat. Katie Ray.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much. I hope Seamus. Thank you.
Super sticker.
He's awesome in the comment section. He is. When I read his comments, I just get the warm and fuzzies.
No, that's so nice.
I do. Okay. So we've had a bunch of people saying hey.
Hi, yes, at the beginning.
A bunch of people saying hey.
Thanks. We see everyone on.
We have someone saying hey from Bristol. So
Officer is rocking the cool shirt.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Spanish. It's a Spanish brand we like.
Spanish brand. Yeah. There's our guy, Rafael.
Hi, Rafael.
Okay, man, we just have a lot of Hellos.
Oh, thanks.
We have another haircut shout out.
It was funny. I mean, C and I matched. So when I got home, I put one of like Cia's bows in my hair, and I was like, "What do you think, Josh?" He's like, "Stop," because it's literally like the same haircut.
It is. They're twinning.
Yeah.
So Steve asks a finance or a money question, right? Do you want to buy? So I'm assuming that you mean a house. And yes, we do. We absolutely want to buy a house. We're actively looking. About 2 month and a half ago, I put out a poll talking about potentially doing a vertical community. We have gotten that project underway. We are currently working with a real estate consultant, Savvy Cat Realty, which right now I can recommend them for sure. We're creating a series on this. So we're really excited about this new series where we take you guys on the journey with us. Look, we don't know if it's going to end up as a
we find
something fantastic
yeah.
or a flop or a frustration.
No, not a flop. Hopefully something fantastic.
But we're going to take you guys on the journey. So
yeah, and we're going to document it all so you guys can see what it would look like to buy a building that needs to be renovated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we're super excited about it.
Look out for those.
So here's something financially related. I just signed a contract for $750 in Bonfim off of Rua de Firmeza.
That's good.
We know the area, and I love that you put this because I was going to ask, and it's a one bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I think that's a fairly fair price. Yep. Agreed.
All right. Okay.
I've been talking too much. You talk.
Okay. I've been searching for the past month for a place in Figueira de Foz, not having much luck. Might have to move inland. Oh, that's unfortunate because we have some friends there that they rent a place for $300, $350. It's a one bedroom small place, and they kind of keep it as home base so that they can travel. And that's why they've done so low. But I mean, there are some cheap options there. So hopefully you can find something. Just real estate right now. We've been chatting with a real estate agent that we work with, not Savvy Cat, but someone else. And they just say there's a shortage.
Yep.
I mean, there's just a lot of people moving here, and rentals, long-term rentals especially, just are in high demand right now.
Yep.
So that makes it tough.
Low supply, high demand.
Michelle,
for disaster.
Question. So is the water bill a set bill or based on what you use?
It's usage based. We seem to have pretty even usage.
So there's a couple ways that you can go about doing your water bill, and it will depend on what the landlord wants to do. Either they will, when the bill comes in, they'll supply you with it so that you can see your actual bill, and then you pay them because it's in their name and they're paying it, or they'll have you set it up yourself. It depends on the landlord what you do. So for us, it's kept in their name and they give us the bill so we can see the usage. And that's just based on what we use. So that's with washing machine, showers. We have one bathroom, but showers, dishes, all that stuff. It's super reasonable. Yeah.
For health insurance, how much are copay and deductible costs? Does it include dental coverage? It does not include dental coverage. However, we do out of pocket for dental, and dental's not very expensive. Cleaning is 30.
Well, we did it once when they were doing like a deal, and it was 25, but their normal price was 30.
35.
There's dental places all over, dentists in Portugal.
Deals.
Yeah, there's plenty of deals. You can get dental coverage if you want. We just choose not to. So ours is without. And then the copay was pretty low, wasn't it? The one that we chose. That's why we're on, with the higher monthly, the copay. Actually, I think it's zero copay.
I think it's zero copay. Yeah. However, it does have to be obviously somewhere that accepts Medis.
Yes.
Because if it does not accept Medis, then you have to go back and
submit it online, submit the claim online, which I just did for the first time today because Josh had a little mess up with his wrist chasing Sia. It was wet. He fell, put his hand down and did something to his wrist. So he went in, the place he went didn't accept Medis. So I just recently submitted the claim. It was pretty easy. It was mostly in Portuguese. So there was that. So it took a little longer, but now that I know how to do it, it'll be much easier. So I just did that, and it's just super standard. The same things they always ask, your name, the date, and then they want to see receipts and all that stuff. So
yeah. And I don't know if I messed up when I was there and I didn't give them my SNS number.
It was on the paperwork.
Okay.
You did give it to them though.
Okay.
And that's
I just handed them stuff.
Yeah.
I was just, yeah.
Yeah.
The place
they want that to be on, and that's actually more so for the pharmacy. When you do prescriptions. For prescriptions, you want to make sure that it's on there. Yeah. Your SNS if you have it. And your residency info. That stuff too.
Yep.
But that was on there.
Okay, so I'm assuming, Michael, you're asking about our apartment. You might be asking about that other one that's in Bonfim. Our apartment is furnished. So 700 furnished.
Josh and Kalie are awesome and what they do. If you're looking to move to Portugal, I would definitely recommend you check out the channel. It's very incredibly informative and very detailed. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Tiago.
Hi guys, looking to buy to Lagos for $500K. What thoughts do you have on that rather than Cascais?
Ooh, I mean, they're totally different vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Lagos is from the impression that we got where we stayed in Lagos, it was much younger vibe.
Backpackers more so coming in and out?
Yeah, but not like dirty backpackers.
No, but
just like young and
on the
youngish,
move. On the move, yeah.
Digital nomad community there. Cascais is certainly more affluent. I think that amount would go further in Lagos for sure, but I think you could still get something in Cascais. Depends on how big you're looking for.
There's a lot that goes into what you want.
Do you want to see the water? You know, if you have a view.
Do you want to have a car? Because you know, some in Cascais, there's like this inner area that you definitely want a car for. But if you're not in like where it's like shaded and stuff, that the parky area, then there's buses and stuff. So it kind of depends.
Yeah. I think, you know, this is a really great comment here. That's about what you pay for two people in the US. I'm assuming you said that whenever we were saying like our totals of how much we spent. Yeah, probably depending on where you live in the US.
Lifestyle too, right?
You know, maybe the apartments would be more expensive in a comparable size city to Porto.
Cities, yeah.
Or definitely like a comparable prestige city. Like if you think Lisbon's the capital or the largest city, comparing that to New York, LA, Miami, those type of cities, and then Porto being a second city. So whoever you would kind of compare that to, Porto would be cheaper in terms of housing for sure.
Yeah.
We're living a little more
well, like we said, like we said at the beginning, you can definitely live cheaper. This wasn't a video that was meant to be like, we did it really cheaply. No, we just logged a life that we want to live. If you don't have that much money and you want to live cheaper, or you just want to live cheaper, you know, because of what you make or anything like that, you can here. You definitely can here. But that was not the aim of us showing you our budget. This was just real life showing our how we live. So.
Yes.
Josh is saying hi to everybody.
Chris, get your push-ups and listen, it's the wrists that I'm struggling with. You can kind of still see a mark where I hit the ground. It's a thing. I will end up making a video about it.
He was not happy.
It was a disaster.
I wasn't there. I was with Pincher at the vet.
Yes, business expenses for sure.
Have that. Drink more Vino Verde, definitely.
Vino Verde is cheap though. Okay.
Hi. So when do you think you will do your taxes?
You really want this tax video, don't you? Abby really want. So we're in the process of doing our U.S. taxes. Once we get our U.S. taxes done, we will submit basically submit that paperwork to Matilde, who's our tax lady, and then she'll submit it.
But we're in contact with her right now about stuff. So, I mean, we're in the process, but we just haven't gone through it yet.
We're not trying to do our own taxes, for sure.
That's too complicated. Is it possible for you guys to save and invest doing this job with other incomes? With your other incomes? Sorry.
No, for sure. Absolutely. I think we kind of addressed this already. So I don't know at what point this question came in. But yeah, definitely. I mean, we're slowly saving up for whenever we purchase here.
And real estate in the States too, because that's something we do. So I have a part-time job that I can do. It's very flexible that I actually had in 2019. And I've just kept it. I don't need it. We don't need it for anything financially, but we just keep it because it's flexible and quite easy for me to do. And then Josh is full-time expats everywhere. And then he does the real estate stuff in the States for us. So yeah, we're still investing in real estate there.
I guess we should say this financially, because this is financially related. The reason that the main reason that we started paying ourselves a set salary is because Rafael, mortgage guy, mortgage broker, recommended that we do that because in Portugal, the banks want to see regular income. So at the beginning of the year, we just started paying ourselves, and we knew based on kind of all of the revenue that was coming into Expats Everywhere that we could safely pay ourselves $1,500 USD per month.
That was a good price too to show like for mortgages here and stuff.
Yeah, because mortgages are pretty cheap.
Dude,
So
what
what's the
is this
super box budget? Not enough.
Apparently, it was more last year
It
when we
was
were
more. It was more
making
last year
super
for
box
sure.
runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to pay us to drink it.
I would say too, though, like
Not in a bad way.
I'm starting to drink some cocktails every once in a while, which I wasn't really doing even all of last year. So just kind of play some fancy cocktails. Oh, I'm going to try this instead. Not that I'm burnt out on wine or Super Bock, but
no, of course not. I mean, we have Super Bock in the fridge. So Michelle asks or says, "Good thing you don't have a car. Saw the price of gas from another person I follow has gone crazy there. Yeah,
everywhere, right?
Yeah, gas prices have gone up for sure, for sure.
Gas was already kind of high here anyway when we would rent a car, But yeah, it's nice not having a car in the city anyway. You don't need it.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked recently to see what the price of the pump is because where we live right now, we don't actually have a gas station that I walk by regularly. I'd have to walk kind of in the spot where I don't often walk.
To see.
Yeah, but it has gone up. We see it on the news.
Yeah, they definitely talk about it there. I've noticed a lot of places require a guarantor. Did you guys run into that? If so, how did you get one?
Okay, so we ran into that when we thought that we were going to need to leave our current place. And yes, it has absolutely become more normal that they're asking for guarantors. That's tricky if you don't live here to get a guarantor. This is another reason really we recommend using a company like Living to get your first contract here.
But a workaround around it is you can negotiate instead of doing a guarantor is to say like I will pay maybe like 4 months as like a deposit or 4 months up front. So if you choose to pay more, then they will like kind of waive the guarantor. So negotiate that. That's how you can get around that if you don't have one.
Yeah. I love this comment from Andrews. Andrews, I'm not going to try to say your last name. I'm not very good at Greek. So if you would let us know.
You felt very confident with that comment. So
Andrews,
I hope it's Greek.
Well, because he's saying compared to Greece.
Oh, okay. I didn't read the question. Okay.
Yeah. So Andrews, if you would tell us what you're paying like as a single living in Greece. Yeah. And then we'll double it.
Because Greece is known to be inexpensive as well, especially people coming from US, UK, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is tough.
Back and forth. So we'll go just a little.
Oh, we've got a Tithe fan. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep. We definitely try to give back. And with our D7 course, we've mentioned before that we give $10 of that to a charity here, a pet shelter here. So we like to do local stuff as well.
Yep. Yumiko, that is correct as far as we have been told.
Is due in June. Yeah.
Sorry. Portugal tax due in June. U.S. Okay. I think you're asking, are we paying U.S. taxes or Portugal taxes? As far as we can tell, we will only be paying taxes here in Portugal. There, at least from the income from the channel, there might be some real estate related stuff that we'll pay back in the U.S. Some capital gains stuff, but
two things just to note is that there is the double taxation treaty that Portugal and US have, so that you shouldn't be paying taxes on the same things in both countries. You would just pay in one country. So there is that to remember. And then the other thing too is that you have to just make sure that you file in both, and you can do the foreign earned income exclusion is what it's called in the US. So you always have to file in the US, but if you get that exclusion and everything, then you show them here and there's all that stuff.
Ooh, we have a light that's going out. And I charge those things too. Okay, so in regards to exchange rates always changing daily, they fluctuate a bit, but not drastically. Like it's usually month on month where you'll see bigger changes. So that's a good point. And
it kind of evens itself out.
Good luck on that. I'm sorry, what did you point out?
Trav.
Oh,
thanks, Trav.
Thank you so much for that super. I'm guessing that's a super sticker.
Something.
No, it's a super chat. Just no message. We thank you. Appreciate it.
Hello,
Kingston, Jamaica. That's the first Jamaican, or at least someone from Kingston, Jamaica, that's written us.
That has said that.
That said hello from.
Yeah, I'm coming to Lisbon in August. Hoping to get my residency card. Please suggest where to invest for rental property in Portugal around $250K.
Not Lisbon.
Oh yeah.
Not Lisbon. You could do it in Porto.
Yeah.
For that. Yeah.
and what kind of investment you want. Do you want to do AL,
Good
long
call.
term, what you're looking for in an investment? But yeah, Lisbon is just too much at this point. But Porto's, it's definitely possible.
Returns on long-term investments, not great. I mean, if you want to compare it to the US, for example, Portugal's not great.
Yeah, but there are some areas in Porto that are up and coming. So as far as an investment goes, in 5-10 years, a place that's maybe even cheaper than that will be on the rise. There's a lot of renovations going on in some of these other little districts around Porto that could be beneficial as an investment.
All right, this one's for you. It's slightly financially related.
Is a rental or purchase agreement still required prior to D7 interview? I purchased your D7 DIY course, but haven't looked at it in a while. It depends on your jurisdiction as to what is required, but definitely you have to have a housing contract for your D7. So no matter where you are, you do. As of right now, DC is still allowing 6 months. The San Francisco one has to be 1 year. And then when you come for SEF, it's better to have your 1 year anyway. And then for taxes, you have to have something that's registered with the finances. So if you're comfortable enough with just going within 1 year, that's just going to be easier in the long run. But yes, you do have to it doesn't have to be purchased. You don't have to buy a place, but a rental contract is required for your D7.
Super chat.
And I do update the D7.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Super chat.
Yeah, I do update the D7 course regularly. So if anything changes, whatever is in there is the newest information. So you don't have to worry about that. So if you go back and look now and there is something that's different than what you remember from before, it's because now is the updated information.
There's so much to say in the comment section right now. Okay, so
how long are we going tonight?
So first off, I don't know. So first off, let me answer this or comment on this by saying, if you guys are interested, I would love to introduce you to Anna from Savvy Cat. She's the CEO. Just shoot me an email, contact@expatseverywhere.com, and I can introduce you and get that kind of chat started if you're interested in using their services. Mm-hmm. And then we'll show you their services,
what they're doing
in that
for
series.
Us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Kalie's hair suits her. Thanks. Looking good. What were the biggest increases in prices you noticed? Top 3.
This is the tricky one because it wasn't like there was a price jump all at once that I noticed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it just happened all of a sudden, because I think gas prices would be that, but we don't drive. The extra 5 cents per metro ride just kind of snuck right past.
I don't think we ever even would have noticed it. I mean, I did it twice in that month, and I've done it since, and I didn't even realize $12.50. I think it's because I just used my card. So I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a normal. I'm going to use it anyway, so
yeah,
that is what it is. But
definitely, there's got to be something going on in the food and beverage industry, and prices have got to be going up there.
Yeah, but it's hard too, because when you go to a variety of different places, so sometimes you can find some little hole in the wall places that are super inexpensive, but then you go to a place that's maybe a little more touristy and it's going to be more. So it's hard to tell. Like in my mind, I'm always like, well, this place is cheaper because of the location, and the size, the type of food. But this one's more in a touristy location, so I would expect it to be more. So I couldn't tell because we don't circle back necessarily to a bunch of restaurants anyways. So
okay.
It went up $1 or €1. I don't know.
I got an answer.
Okay, what?
But I only have 2. I don't even have a top 3. Housing, absolutely gone up.
Yeah.
Disagree.
That's been an obvious one. Yeah.
Absolutely. Second thing is, I know I just did this. Second thing is the new restaurants that have opened have all been
higher prices. Okay, yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter kind of what the style of the restaurant is, but it's probably startup costs. The startup cost for a restaurant that's opening in 2022 is way different than one from 1990.
Oh, yeah.
Or one from the 70s.
But like we said, little things that we probably wouldn't have even noticed, like the metro or like Pinto's grooming, they told us, but, went up €1 or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So talking about, it's not really to us. That's valuable, Yumiko. Thank you. You want to read that?
Hi. Do you guys think that most people that move Hi, do you guys think that most people that move buy homes, apartments versus just rent the entire time they are living in Portugal?
I'm going to kind of not answer this question and keep this short and sweet and say that I've heard this as like really good advice on a Facebook group from a realtor. I know, so take it with a grain of salt. But year 1, or as you're moving to Portugal, rent that year. Year 2, as you're ending year 1, look for a place to buy, and then buy a place in year 2, and year 3 potentially buy an investment property. That's kind of an idea that I heard that makes sense to utilize the low interest rates.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So, I mean, if you know you want to be here and you have the money, you can get a mortgage. Interest rates are so low that it's lower to buy a place and pay your mortgage for the most part than it is to pay rent somewhere. And as we see rent going up,
Yeah. To answer that question,
it's a mix.
amongst our friends, it's a mix, but it seems like most people are starting to lean towards buying after being here a little bit.
Renting first, though, for sure. It's hard to buy a place like sight unseen, or if you're not even sure where you want to be. So renting first.
No, not about money.
That's fine.
Is real estate a good investment in Portugal? Depends on what you're looking for sure. I think that there are other countries that are better to invest in if it's pure investment, like cash on cash ROI could be good for the valuation going up, but ROI, no, US is better. Sorry.
Some cross chat there.
Yeah, I've lost track of like the financial stuff.
We'll go for
okay. So someone just asked, do you also invest in the stock market? Not actively. So we have money in the stock market. We don't touch it. We've put money in over the years and we don't move it.
We have friends that are here and that's all they do though.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you could do that.
Yep.
I think that would make me too nervous. Okay, Michelle, did you find the RE business in the US is hard to manage since you live now in Portugal? Do you have someone there to help you?
You want to partially answer that for me? What do you think? Do you think that I find it hard to manage
business?
The real estate
stuff? No, I mean
our real estate stuff.
No, because we have a property manager. When you buy houses, Josh has a team in place for all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing it for quite a while. So we have people who find places. You've got a GC who fixes it. So stuff moves quickly because you have people. So if you establish that, then I think that it's not hard because you can jump on a FaceTime call or Skype, or now we can chat so easily compared to how it was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't know.
No, I agree completely. I think because we have a team in place, it's just made it much easier. I'm very close to the GC. I talk to him a lot. Granted, because we're also investing together as well. But no, I think it's pretty easy now. We're part of a small, 4 families have come together to invest. And right now it's insane because we're all on very different time zones. There's one guy in Singapore. There's another guy on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, and then I'm in Portugal. So it gets a little hard to schedule meetings, but we get it done. Every other week we talk, and we have a WhatsApp group that we communicate in. So you can do it.
I will say this, when we first moved abroad and we just had 1 or 2 properties at the time, we didn't have a property manager and it was a bit of a hassle, just a pain. So it's better. We felt that it was worth the money to have a property manager that could vet the people that were coming in, that could deal with the rent, all that stuff, instead of using like a family member or something like that. So if you are thinking of keeping your home, it's a lot less stress if you hire someone to help you.
Yeah. Okay, so someone's asking if you can use Flat.io as a hack.
For the D7? Is that
for housing? If you can get a year out of them,
if you can get a contract too, that's the main thing. You will have to have a contract, at least for your visa application. They're going to start looking more into it when you're here, as far as how it's registered.
Yeah. Dean is talking about the property that he bought north of Portugal, a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath for this is USD, $200K. Dino got a good price on it.
Mm-hmm. It takes maybe a half hour for you to get in by metro into Porto? Is that how long?
Yeah.
Yeah. You say it's a 15-minute walk, I think they said, from their place to the metro, and then into Porto.
Ooh, I love this question. So did you guys think about buying land and building instead of buying? We didn't. We have a friend that did and actually used Savvy Cat. She bought a property, a plot of land in Aveiro, and then also a building here in Porto. And so she has a building and a plot of land. In Aveiro, she's going to build a apartment complex, kind
Mhm.
of. So for us personally, we see so many of these vacant buildings that we really want to kind of bring one of these jewels of Portugal back, one of these jewels of Bonfim. That neighborhood has some amazing architecture. So if we can get in and renovate a building and bring it back to its former glory, restore it, that would be a dream.
Mhm.
That, I mean, that's kind of getting a little too emotional when it comes to real estate. I know. But it's also, it would just be very cool to be able to be a part of that, to have that legacy. So that's important to us,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Some people do it though.
Yeah.
All right, I'm saying 5 more minutes
Okay.
because we've been going almost an hour. I'm
All right.
getting tired. Agree with Kalie. Off the Path Restaurants app's main bottle of local wine desserts. 40 USD for 2. There's lots to explore that you can find for really good prices.
Okay, so here's a school-related question, not financial, but do you want to touch on the financial part of school?
Hi there. Where would you say has the best elementary schools?
Would you be able to answer that?
The best. Gosh, I don't know, because people have different preferences on what you like for schools. I mean, we know people have come in doing scouting trips all around Portugal, and they've ended up in different places because of different schools that they've liked. Sometimes you walk into it and you have this feeling, I think as a parent, you have this feeling what will be best for your kid. So it's hard to tell what would be the best. I mean, public schools are pretty similar all around Portugal and what they're known for. I think a lot of expats tend to go for more private or international. And again, that's all about preference. So I don't know if the best, I mean, you're going to have more options for expats in the Lisbon region because there are more expats
But
there.
can you touch on the financial implications of that?
So financially, again, obviously it depends. Like you have your public schools that you can go to. And I know it's tough. Like if you have an older kid and you're going to go to put them in a public school, not only is it going to be the shock of moving, and then it's going to be the shock of making new friends, you're going to have the shock of the language. So keep that in mind because everything will be in Portuguese, even though kids do learn English in schools at a young age here. But think about that with public, which I think is why a lot of people go into private or international schools. Private, you'll pay a little more. There are things for the younger kids that are called creches. Not all creches are the same. There are public, private, Montessori, and they are different prices. You can get some creches that are closer to 150, 200 euro a month. And so a lot of that includes like the lunch as well. Some are closer to 300-400 a month for private more or Montessori type schools. And those creches generally are from 6 months, really young, up till 6 or 7 or so, because legally when kids turn 6, they need to be in some sort of school here. So then international schools, as far as like if you compare to different countries, international schools are quite affordable. For example, a 3rd grade international school, we met with someone who was looking at one in Porto, and I believe it was 5,000 euros for the year. Wasn't it 5,000 for a 3rd grader?
Yep.
Which for us, teaching in Singapore is really inexpensive.
Low.
Yeah, that's really low. So
that's like 20% of the cheapest school that we know of in Singapore.
Right. So, I mean, as far as how that goes, money wise, there's the whole spectrum, and the best, it kind of depends. I mean, more options, I think, in the Lisbon region. But
so we're just about to wrap it up. I'm going to answer this question.
You're like, all right, done with that.
But before I do that, so Kalie, do you want to talk about the Living in Portugal course?
Oh, yes. Okay. So as you guys know, we have our D7 DIY course for you to get your visa. But then we realized when you get here, people have all sorts of questions about, okay, what's my SEF appointment going to be like? How do I mail a letter? I don't know, what are some other things? Just setting up utilities if your place requires you to do that, getting a phone and a SIM card and internet and all that fun stuff. Driver's license. Yeah. So it's all these things that, like, when you DIY the D7 and you have no help, you come here and you're like, now I have all these other things I have to do. And we realized like a lot of people were asking questions. So we are putting a course together that will be really similar to that one, with videos and text, links, all sorts of discount codes, affiliations that we have, people and companies we recommend to help you out, showing you how to do some of this stuff. So we're going to put together that course and hope to have it ready in the next couple of weeks. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're still working on it.
The filming finished.
Yeah.
So if you guys subscribe to either our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram or Facebook, so we're going to share a discount code to get the course for $50 instead of its like regular price, which will be $79. It'll match the same price as the Moving to Portugal D7 course. So yeah, if you follow those accounts, we are going to give that price a code for the first 10 people that do it. So
Yep.
yeah,
It should be out in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned.
okay. Shameless plug. Over.
Okay.
All right. So
last one. Last question.
What's the ROI from Zach? What's the ROI you found on long-term rentals in Porto in contrast to your investment properties in the US? I'd love some numbers. Here's the thing. I think
this one quick.
Whenever
I think you can ramble.
No, I'm going to keep it quick. Whenever we talk to realtors and they start throwing around cap rates and what the potential ROI is, they get excited over like 4%. And in the States, there are so many investor groups that I know of. They won't even look at a deal unless it's 8-10% ROI. And that's just a criteria that like the more savvy investors have. People that are not trying to speculate on what the price will be in the future. You know, here's what your price is going to be next year. We don't personally invest like that. We like to make sure that we build in equity to a property by increasing the value of it through renovating it, buying it below market value, and then forcing appreciation, which we'll talk about in the other series, the vertical community venture. And yeah, basically the ROI that we look for is 8-10%, which we hit. We hit 8-10% cash on cash ROI. And here they get excited about 4. So I'd rather have 8 than 4.
All right. With that,
yeah,
I think we're going to call it a night here. Thanks everyone for being on
ROI
here.
means return on investment.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, ROI, return on investment. Sorry about that.
For all those investors.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna call it a night here. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for that living course. Josh is still answering questions.
Just trying to be helpful.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you all so much. Now, let's get moving.
Bye.
Bye. You guys have a good one. Thanks for joining.